Button. Hello, listeners. We're going to do something a little different today. I want to thank you for joining in and giving us the opportunity to bring to you Silence the Chatter. I have someone with me today who is going to support in the communications that we have. It is one of the stars from We're the Lindsays, and she is Zhanaya. We're going to talk about manifestation of faith today. Everyone has sought faith in so many different ways. I myself, when I think about faith, it is truly the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I walk by faith every day, trusting, believing, hoping, and just knowing that God is going to perform those things that He has said. I have multiple examples in my life where God has always shown up and He's always shown up on time, even when I didn't see it, but my faith was still engaged to believe. I think oftentimes faith, people wonder if they have it, but the word says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can say unto the mountain to be thou removed and cast into the sea, and it shall be done. So I know that our guest today, Zhanaya, has lived faith. She has manifested faith, her and her husband. And there's some discussions that she can share on believing, trusting, and waiting. So I'm going to ask her a question regarding her faith and if she could speak to the listeners on what that means to her.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Um, when I think of faith, I was raised in the church.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taught to have faith.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that sometimes we are taught to have faith, but we never actually practice it in our real life. We kind of say that we have faith, and yet we don't really understand what faith is and what it encompasses, like what it embodies. And I can honestly say that in the last few years, since being married, my faith has grown. Um, it's because I had to start believing in things that I didn't see yet. I had to start to actually, put all my faith into something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that actually makes me realize that was really made it real for me
Mm-hmm.
was with my children.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when me and my husband got married, he expressed that he wanted kids, and I did not. I truly did not, and I never thought of myself having kids or anything like that.
Why?
Well, I just didn't want kids. I want to have that free life.
Okay.
And so we were discussing getting married. He expressed to me that the one thing that he did really want was children. And so I told him that we could have children, or one child. I would get pregnant one time, and that was it. And as soon as I told him that, he was like, well, we're going to have twins. And I'm like, okay. And the more he talked about it, the more I believed it. And I began to look at pictures of twins, how the nursery would look, and how cool it would be to actually have, those two babies. We discussed their genders. We really just began to pray about them every night. We began to think about them, what it would be like to have them walking in the store. We began to, just truly believe that we actually had them already. And so when I became pregnant in October of 2018, and we went to that first ultrasound, and the doctor or the ultrasound tech told us that we were going to be having twins, I wasn't even surprised. I was like, wow. Like this is really this is really happening. And I called him, and he was just like, I knew it. Like, we knew. We would go to had friends' houses that had kids already, and he would tell them before we had conceived them, that we were going to have twins. And every single time people were looking at us like, okay, that's what you say. That's like, do you really want that? And no, we truly did. And now every day that we look at them and we get to experience life with them, we know that we manifested them.
Do you think that has a lot to do with two or more coming together? Because when you are in agreement and you touch and agree anything, it will be established in the earth. Because you said earlier.
But I do believe that. But I also believe that sometimes people will say that and they don't really understand where the other person's mind and how the other person's mind is thinking of it. So I think the fact that we would pray about it and we would picture it together, we'll have pictures kind of like a vision board about what we wanted. We could both visually see. Because sometimes you might want the same thing as somebody, but you don't see it the same way. And I don't think that when you don't see it the same way, it's like
it's
a
not
disconnect.
Right,
it's not in true agreement.
You have to be on one accord.
Exactly. So I think that especially in marriage, you must make sure that you're on the same page as your partner. Because you might be sitting there trying to figure out why something is not happening. You're praying about it with them every night. It's because they are really not in total 100% agreement.
But you say something real interesting, and I've never even quite thought of it this way, where the vision board, the manifestation, seeing the same thing, because if your mind can believe it, it can't conceive it. And when you are not on the inside of another person's thoughts, you can't possibly predict what they're thinking. But to put that vision board and making it plain, and you're seeing it and you're speaking to it and you're in agreement with it, it helps to manifest anything.
The weeks up to us conceiving our children, I had made a vision board with a nursery with a boy and girl and everything. So we were both on we believed it so much. We said the universe helped us to achieve our goal. And I believe that. I feel like the universe really will conspire to help you when your goal is so clear, it's so straight, and you keep putting it out there. God really does want you to have what you want.
He does. He said, I will give you the desires of your heart. And I think you've made some valid points. The universe, God and all of the earth, He will come around you to support, anchor. And that's why through Silence the Chatter, we're able to talk about and inspire and bring forth a word that will not only show the divinity of faith, but will also give a chance for the listeners to know that you can block out the negative and bring in the positive just through believing and knowing that you're capable of whatever has gone on in the past, and you can do that. So I think it's awesome. So you talked about your YouTube channel, We're the Lindsays. How did that come into being? Was it faith or?
That was really just a fun thing for us to do. I love to cook. My husband loves to eat. So we're like, oh, people are actually on YouTube eating and just talking.
Okay.
And so we're like, let's be one of those people.
Okay.
But not to backtrack, I feel the need to also let people know sometimes you can manifest things without knowing you're manifesting them. And a lot of times when you don't know you're manifesting it, it's sometimes negative.
Right.
And people will draw these negative things to themselves.
Right.
And they don't understand why all this bad stuff is happening. Because your emotions also can manifest
Thoughts.
And when those thoughts can embed themselves into your daily life, and the universe is going to bring all that right back to you. So you must learn to control your thoughts. Because if you do not, you will not be able to control. You'll find yourself in a place where you don't understand how you got someplace.
Because the thoughts and words, they are powerful. You have power in your tongue. You have power to manifest, as you spoke, positive and negative. And that's why it's so important to keep those things around you that are energy driven towards the good. Anything that is not good, believe it or not, whether it's in your thoughts, whether it's through the energy that you're walking in, you're going to bring that to you. And that's why you have to protect those things around you.
I find a lot that people that I know will always tell me things like, you are really, people, a lot of times people have told me that I can do anything. Because, and I think that when people say that, it's because I've never told myself that I can't do it.
Right, and you shouldn't.
And I think that a lot of people do that. Like, so stop saying you can't do something.
Right.
Stop saying that you're bad at something. Stop saying that you stop speaking negative on yourself. Stop calling yourself stupid. There's so many small things that you can do to change your everyday life. And just being more positive to yourself and having a positive self-image for yourself could change everything.
So from words of wisdom, things that you can share with our listeners today about the power and the manifestation of that power, what would be the last thing that you would give them for today on truly connecting with the inward part, their spirituality, connecting on a different level where they can create and control more of that manifestation and destiny?
Believe in yourself and believe in God even more.
All right. You heard it from Zhanaya. We're going to walk in faith to manifest the desires of our heart. We want to thank Zhanaya for being with us today, and we're going to invite her back for another Silence to Chatter.
Maybe next time I'll bring Rashad.
And we're going to, yes, bring your husband, and we would love to hear from him to see what his takeaways are and how he would agree, hopefully, to the manifestation of faith. So if you like what you've heard today, please hit the like button.
Comment, share, subscribe. Again, me and my husband's channel is We Are the Lindsays. That's WE', The Lindsays, LINDSAY. We have cooking, eating, and pranks. Do a little bit of everything.
Check them out. I can tell you they are live fun. Go to their site and check them out. But again, thank you so much for joining, Zhanaya. Everyone, have a blessed week. Remember, our new days are Mondays. We'll be back next Monday. Talk to you later. Be blessed.